All right, good morning. It's Friday on the BFM. That means Firearms Friday. And well, morning sunshine. How you doing?
It's DRT day.
It is. And we've got a story this morning. And it's not the one that you're expecting. I am going to talk about that for just a second, mostly to say that I don't want to talk about it yet. But I'm gonna mention it for you guys just briefly and with a word of caution because I'm seeing so much buzz and a few of our subscribers have explicitly requested we discuss it. Uh, and to be very clear, this word of caution goes out to a few of you guys as well. There's a story happening right now in Georgia about two white guys that shot a black guy, and there's a lot of red flags here. I have some concerns. The first concern is that the basic narrative is this: two white men randomly and without provocation murdered a black man in the street and suffered no consequences as a result because Georgia is a racist place full of good old boy cops. That's the story. That's the narrative that is being run. And there's this video that just suddenly came out a couple of days ago. We don't know anything. Now, the two men have been arrested by the GBI as of last night. Apparently, Governor Kemp saw the video and said, "What the hell is happening here? Go wrap this up." There are some problems. Um, the video just suddenly shifts to one side before you see the shot. So the the claim that there is video of the man being murdered is false. There is not video of the man being murdered that we have seen so far. We have seen video that was taken around the time that shows two men fighting over a shotgun. After which we're told, if you all saw most of you saw the movie Seven, and you all remember seeing the wife's head in the box. Well, no, you don't. It didn't happen. It was never on camera. That's a funny trick.
Yeah, it was implied through editing.
Exactly. So, as a cinematographer, I know that when you shift the camera at the last minute to hide the money shot, it's so you don't have to spend money on the blood effects. The other thing, the big chunk of the narrative is that they were just let go with basically the local police just tried to sweep it under the rug. One of the suspects is a retired police officer, and over the course of the process, more than one, I'm not sure if it's either two or three different prosecutors have had to recuse themselves. And if I understand this correctly, that is in the wake of the victim's mother lodging complaints about the connection between those prosecutors and one of the suspects. And even without that, the connection between the prosecutors and the suspects, a recusal is reasonable. Um, I think it's reasonable to suspect that this is not a case where the Justice Department is dragging its heels, but rather that there's just a lot to the process. If you want to make a claim that a large, unwieldy bureaucracy is inefficient and doesn't accomplish its tasks on time, I'm not going to argue with that. Quite simply, there's nothing that a government can do well. So, we're not going to go into this real deep. The thing happened. We don't know what really happened. There are several factors here that are still very unclear. And the mere fact that this happened 2 months ago and then just auto magically out of nowhere there's a shitstorm on social media and it looks like everybody has just decided that we need to hang these two guys without a trial, that should be raising all of your red flags. if you're not deeply suspicious of this, then I'm a little concerned for you.
Yes.
There are a lot of red flags here that just can't be ignored.
Yeah. Once upon a time, there was this guy named Richard Jewell. And because Richard Jewell was kind of an awkward, dorky guy who lived with his mom, he ended up being the suspect for the bombing at Centennial Olympic Park, when in reality, he was a hero and saved who knows how many lives. But because of the way things appeared, Richard Jewell was tried in the court of public opinion. And ironically, one of the things that catapulted Sean Hannity's career is Sean used to be a local guy here in Atlanta before he was, the Sean Hannity. And he was one of the only people that said, guys, whoa, slow down. Look, let's not convict this guy yet. Let's let the process play out and see what the actual facts are. And if the guy is the bomber, then fine, throw him in jail, whatever. But if he's not, and we drag his name through the mud, we're going to ruin his life. And Hannity, of course, was proven correct. And, now he's multi-millionaire that Hannitizes folks on the radio and Fox News and whatnot. And I am not saying that I believe one way or another in this case. But like Chris, one of the things that disturbs me is the fact that everybody seems to have already made up their mind. And I've also watched the video, and the video is about as unclear as it gets. Of a 36-second video, a solid half of it doesn't even show the incident. And then what you do see is so blurred and so incomplete, it barely even answers any questions.
Yeah, the only thing you actually see in the video that is relevant to the case.
Well, the governor admits he is bracing for a possible surge in new cases after opening up more.
The only thing that you reliably see on the video that's relevant to the case is you see two men fighting over a shotgun. You don't see it go off. You just see two men fighting over a gun.
The video itself really kind of disturbs me. I'm going to reference my wife, God bless her, but it's important to understand how unclear this video actually is. I read about this before I saw the video. So
yeah, same here.
So I understood from my reading that the person who was holding the shotgun was the one that fired the fatal shot. My wife saw the video and didn't do any reading and was convinced that it was the person in the back of the truck that fired the fatal shot, and kind of looked at me like I was crazy. And I'm like, no, it was the shotgun that fired the fatal shot. And she honestly said, well, that's not what I saw. And so, well, I mean, according to CNN, and we rag on CNN, but I deliberately read CNN's write-up on this on purpose because I wanted the liberal slant so that I could understand exactly, what the narrative was going to be. And according to CNN, the fatal shot came from the shotgun. And I suspect there's a whole bunch of other evidence that that's going to end up backing that up. But just that right there, the video is so unclear that people watch it and they literally do not see what happened. It just, and look, maybe these guys are two giant pieces of shit that need to go to jail for the rest of their lives. Maybe.
And I'm perfectly happy to entertain that possibility. But there's no evidence to guarantee that yet.
There's really not. And, like I said, the biggest thing that sends all the red flags up for me is everybody's already decided that they're guilty. And I'm already seeing the memes and, social media posts that say it shouldn't be a crime to jog while black. And I mean, it's not like it I cannot help but compare it to other things like Trayvon Martin, where George Zimmerman was, this evil white man that gunned a kid down. And then it turned out that actually George Zimmerman was Hispanic, and Trayvon Martin
and then
hit
suddenly
him.
we had the white Hispanic.
Yeah, and then Trayvon Martin hit him first. And it's, oh, well, wait a minute, that changes the nature of the entire incident. And the thing with Mike Brown, it turns out that Mike Brown actually didn't have his hands up. He was trying to rip the gun away from the cop, and then you got the whole thing with Jesse Smollett, that was a hoax from the floor up. And you've got the Duke lacrosse players, where supposedly they gang raped this.
Yeah, like they didn't even bother to stage the hoax on that one. They just wrote the article. At least Jesse Smollett had the gumption to go out and stage the event.
So, and I only reference those things because this has a lot of that same feel to it from the outside looking in. There's all this righteous indignation. It's all over social media. These guys are just these racist jerks, and it's about time that we get justice and whatever. But the truth is, when something is done and there's white on black and there's an actual crime that's committed, it's usually prosecuted to the point to where the person that committed the crime, the white person that committed a crime against a black person, ends up going to jail. Amber Heard went to jail. A jury heard that case and said, wait a minute. You walked into the wrong apartment and shot a dude while he was eating ice cream? Nah, you're going to jail. That's not okay. So to say that there's no justice in our criminal justice system, and again, we're deliberately trying not to speculate. We're planning on it, but we want to make sure that we've got all the facts and that we can be certain that they are facts that can be known at this point.
Yeah, I'll settle for having some facts.
Well, I don't mean all the facts. I just mean all the facts that are currently knowable and that we can be reasonably certain are actually factual. And well, then speculation, I think, would be in order. But some of you guys, bless you, requested that we discuss this. And after talking about it, Chris and I were actually on the same page. And it's like, wait a minute, there's just some things here that don't add up. And one of the things that's very strange is the fact that they've already been convicted in the court of public opinion over a video that's about as clear as mud. So,
and for something we weren't going to talk about, boy, did we just spend 13 minutes on it. So it is Friday. We're gonna let's go ahead. Let's move on. We'll go ahead and deliver the news that's interesting, where there are facts reported in the case, and there is a video. Right? Let me refresh this page. And I'll try to play the video real quick. We got a clerk opens fire on robbery suspects in Texas. Looks like they got a little bit of the security footage. The guy running back out. Obviously, we're looking at the clerk showing off his security footage to somebody after rewinding it. Okay. So, Houston. A clerk shot and killed at least one suspect when a group of alleged robbers forced their way into a store along Highway 90 in northeastern Houston overnight. That is a thing which is increasingly concerns me. We have been seeing flash mobs, basically, where it doesn't say here how many suspects entered. It may have been just 2 or 3. I only saw 2 in the video. But the flash mob robbery, where you have 30 or 40 or 50 people walk into a store, they all pile in the door, and then they all grab something and leave. Like, half the time they don't even bother to run. They just grab something and leave because what are you going to do? Yes, opening fire on that group is the correct answer. They do it because it's not terrifying. There's no risk. If if a few of those go very, very wrong, then they'll stop happening. So this happened around 1:30 Wednesday morning. The clerk was in a plexiglass pod when he was approached by the robbers. The clerk, fearing for his life, opened fire on the suspects, wounding and killing one of the men, police said. A second suspect... Okay, so there you go. Looks like there were 4 total. So it looks like there were... Second suspect ran from the scene while 2 others drove away in a dark-colored BMW. So it looks like there were four of them to begin with. That's 4 people going in to commit a crime together. That's serious. That's it. That's the story. 4 guys tried to rob a convenience store, and the clerk shot one of them.
2
of them.
They have
a DRT.
If you read into the subtext of the story, it actually looks like he got a bite of 2 of them. Because there's somebody who was a short distance away who got transported to the hospital. But a man was found not far from the scene with a gunshot wound, but not confirmed.
Got it. So yeah, 1 dead at the scene, one shot while fleeing. This is a win.
Oh yeah. I love the fact that this is our easiest show all week long because, man, I mean, what have we been doing this, like, basically a year now? And over the course of a year, we've only had 1 Friday where we couldn't find a DRT. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
And that's all I've got this morning. So
yeah, without jumping into a whole bunch of speculation that we want to not do yet, that we will do soon, but not do yet. That's all I've got this morning.
All right. Well, it's Friday. Safety brief. Don't drive drink. Don't fry bacon naked. Wash your damn hands. Y'all be safe out there.